Hi everyone, this is Molly and welcome to another Midheaven astrology reading where we talk about the energies of the midheaven. And in this video, we're going to look at the energies of Gemini. Now, this is not a comprehensive reading as there are many layers to a career and professional reading, but we're going to look at the general themes. And this is more of an intermediate level video because we're going to dive in a little bit deeper into how to read these energies in a chart. So the midheaven is always located between the 9th house and the 10th house, and it's where the energy accumulates at the highest peak in your chart. It's how you are recognized, how you are seen and viewed by others. It is your status in the world, and it also signifies for us the beginning of the 10th house, which is all about career and profession. So it's what you've learned and studied, the knowledge you've gained, and how you're applying that in the world to make money, to be satisfied, to be known, to be an expert. So the midheaven shows your area of expertise. And with the Gemini midheaven, it's all about information and how you think. It's about what you have learned and what you are here to share with other people. It is a teacher, a guide, an author. It's someone who has accumulated information and they want to give it back out into the world. They want to share what they've learned. So this can be a spokesperson, someone who handles information well, such as a PR individual. They can give people access to what they maybe don't understand. They want to use their mental capabilities to share. So it's someone who really needs to have an outlet for their mind, for speaking, for communicating. This could be a journalist. This could be someone who is on television communicating information, as long as they are mentally engaged, as long as they have something they can really explain to people. Now, the other thing about Gemini is that because it's an air sign, it can be social and interactive. It wants to have conversations with people and to say, well, what do you think? And this is what I think. So it can be quite social or quite extroverted as long as it's not stuck in its head too much. It's the energy of somebody who needs to have things to ponder, and it is a multitasker. Gemini can do many things at once, and when it's on the midheaven, it's actually gifted with being able to have two careers, one in your left hand and one in your right hand, so to speak. Because there is a lot of adaptability and movement with Gemini, you like to be on the go, and you don't want to be bored. You want to have change and variety. So you need a career that allows you that movement, that allows you to travel. You could travel physically, you could travel in your local community, or you could travel around the world. But this is movement because Gemini is fast moving and it wants to be out there. It wants to be seeing what's going on, what's happening, collecting information, and just understanding more about how things work. So it's good for even, say, interviews. It's good for somebody who can go meet with clients, perhaps in sales, or they go and study something and get information and report back. So do you see how there's many ways this energy can show up, but you want to be thinking. You want to be able to process information and to share your ideas. It's also a very linear sign. It's about the details and the data and the numbers. So that could be a part of what you find satisfying in a career too. Now we go further by looking at where Mercury is in your chart because Mercury rules Gemini. So we go and look and see, well, where is Mercury? Because that tells us more about how you think and what you process. Now in this chart, Mercury is at 5 degrees of Pisces in the 6th house. So you look for the house placement of Mercury. The 6th house is about daily life. It's about your routines and your work and your service in the world. It's about your habits. I always think of it as your yoga practice, like what you do daily to support yourself, to support your body, to listen to your body. So there needs to be a daily routine here. But Mercury in Pisces tends to be adrift, and it wants to be in other realms and other places. It can be very creative. It can be very tuned in and intuitive to other messages from other places. And then in the 6th house, there's a need to make it grounded, to apply it practically. The 6th house is about how we improve, how we make something more efficient, how we organize it and put it into a system. And this Mercury in Pisces actually doesn't want the details. It wants to be creative. It wants to be able to have space to roam and to think. So this person probably needs that on a daily basis, and they don't want to be tied down to something that restricts them or that is too detail oriented. Now, this Mercury, as you see here, is also conjunct Mars at 5 degrees of Pisces. So look at that. It's a near conjunction. 5 degrees of Pisces in 29 minutes. I mean, then Mercury's at 5 degrees of Pisces, 32 minutes. And then it's also conjunct Chiron, 7 degrees of Pisces, 45 minutes. So this Mercury is actually being influenced by both Mars and Chiron, and these are very different energies. Mars is how we go for something, but in Pisces it's diluted. It isn't always an ego-based desire. It's a trusting desire. It's surrender on a daily basis to what feels right. Chiron in Pisces is our wounded healer, and it's healing the spiritual wounds of trusting. There's so much about this energy right here that's about a healer, someone who heals themselves to help other people heal. And that could even be through the body, which is the 6th house, through the earth, through anything in physical ways that really support the body. I mean, that could be acupuncture, acupressure, energy work. There's so many ways this can show up. But understand that the Pisces energy is so strong that it has to be honored in this chart. This person needs change. They need variety. They need to stay inspired. They don't want to be even locked down to a particular routine. You see, they want to have the space to float. Pisces is the water sign that wants to float away and disappear and then come back when it feels refueled. So this person really needs an artistic and creative expression in their career. They need change. They can't hold themselves to a strict schedule because they need variety. So then we look at this chart even more, okay? So we can see here that these Pisces planets are quite strong. But then we look at, well, what else is interacting with this Mercury? Because of how Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. Well, then we see right across here, there is an opposition from the moon at 6 degrees of Virgo and Pluto at 8 degrees of Virgo retrograde in the 12th house. So what's quite fascinating about this chart is that these two planets in Virgo are opposing the Pisces energies. And because the moon is your daily energy and your daily self, and it's conjunct Pluto, which is passion and a sense of intensity and where you need to feel powerful, this person has to balance their desire for the Virgo energies of being of service, being of support, being reliable and dependable, and feeling powerful in that, with the times when they need to work by themselves. So this is someone who needs to work by themselves, have their own routines, and find a way to continually balance these energies between the Virgo, which is perfection, and am I doing it well enough, and am I being of service, am I doing enough? That energy is coming on strong here through this opposition to the Mercury in Pisces, which can feel like it's never good enough, or that I should do more and be of more service. So they have to find that balance between their spiritual self, their spiritual practices, the ways that they are creative and that they shouldn't be held to standards that are too high, with the sense that they want to be of service and they want to help other people, but sometimes they just need time to themselves and to take care of themselves. So you can see how astrology quickly becomes many layers of energies interacting. So for this individual, they have to honor both their Virgonian needs of power, control, doing things their way, having the space to do things their way, to improve, to support, and how they can let themselves off the hook and not be too hard on themselves as needed. I actually think that this energy would make for someone who's a good support system for others, health coaching, spiritual counseling, a guide, someone who can have a schedule and a routine, but who has a way of being in charge of how their energies need to be honored. So those are just some general themes here to work with, and it takes you further into the energies of your chart. So with the Gemini Midheaven, you look to Mercury for what Mercury says in your chart. Then you look at some of the aspects that Mercury is receiving to understand how you think, how you process information, and really your mental capabilities, and how you can really feel satisfied in your career. So I hope this has given you some more information to ponder and sit with, and I'll be back here soon with yet another Midheaven reading to help you tune into more of these energies in your chart.